Hey everybody, this is The Trout, aka Rick Troutman. Welcome to The Trout Show podcast. You know what I do? I interview musicians that are located all over this wonderful planet of ours that are very talented. Some of them you'll know, and some of them you may not know, but one thing I will tell you, you'll know about their life in the music industry. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite adult beverage, and listen to our next episode coming up right now.
I've got a quarter in my pocket, won't you tell me what I should do? Should I put it in the phone so I can come crawling home to you? Or should I put it in the jukebox and play another heartbreak song? I'm leaning towards a letter and I really hate.
Hey everybody, it's The Trout and welcome to another Trout Show podcast. Thanks so much for stopping by. If I was going to mention the country Brazil to you, would the words country music come to mind? Most likely not. But today I interview a well-known country artist out of the city of São Paulo, one of the biggest cities in the world. He talks about how he became a country artist, how he learned how to play guitar, and how he was influenced by the country music that comes out of Nashville, Tennessee. His name is Rodrigo Haddad, and his story is very intriguing, and his story is next on this episode of the Trout Show podcast. So thanks for coming on. I noticed that it doesn't take me long to figure out that you need to move to Texas. You got your cowboy hat on, got pictures of horses and cows behind you, got rodeo people. How long have you been playing country music in Brazil?
Well, first of all, thanks, Rick, to have me in your show. So my name is Rodrigo Haddad from São Paulo, Brazil. São Paulo is one of the biggest cities in the world, and I've been playing country music professional here in São Paulo for the last 28 years, since 1995. So I have some miles on my back.
So when you started, what was your influence? I'm not familiar with, there's a lot of different music comes out of Brazil. But what was your influence? How did you get exposed to country music in your part of the world?
Everything started, Rick, with my daddy. You see those trophies and horses photos because my daddy liked to love horses, and he has some friends that has horses as well. And when I was young, he brought some vinyls and tapes from country music tapes. Artists like Kenny Rogers, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. And that first time that I started to listen to that songs, I didn't like it at all. No, I was young, like 10 years old. So, but then when I started to see some kind of Western movies, and I always see my daddy with his hat, with his boots, and talking about horses and music. So it started to be more nature to me. I remember very well, and when I was 12 or 13, and he brought me. He was listening to a tape of Steve Wonder.
Oh yeah,
I think
great guitar player.
He's a great guitar player, songwriter, and singer, and it was, I think, 86. So I listened to that song. I forgot the name of the song, but I listened to that tape, and what catch me for the moment was the melodies and the vocals. So back was the 86, 87, and then when started the 90s with Dwight, Yoakam, with George Strait was already there, but my dad was a big fan of George Strait, and so I started to listen to that kind of music, and I became a big fan of that.
Were you playing a guitar at the time?
No, I used to have some piano lessons when I was young, but then when I started to to try to sing and play. I brought a guitar, was back in 1992. So I started strumming guitar, and so then I took some lessons to improve. But then was crazy because I found some friends in São Paulo that like that kind of music as well. So this is made it easier for me to have that kind of group of friends and start to listen to that songs, and that's what happened.
Yeah, because if you're the only one playing it, it gets real boring because nobody want to. First off, you can play in your bedroom or wherever you are, and then it's like, well, I'd like to go out and play, but who's going to come listen to me if you don't have anybody else that can listen to you? And you need to play with other musicians.
At that time we didn't have internet or even CDs. That time, then the CDs started to came back in the 90s, and it was hard to get that kind of music. Some kind of friends needed to travel to US. We have some music stores in Brazil that import that kind of music. So, and it was expensive as well.
Oh yeah, I was going to say real expensive, probably.
Yeah,
because and it's funny because things changed probably for you too when the internet came out, because then you can start looking, and of course now everything's online. It's funny, in America, nobody buys CDs anymore. You can't hardly find them. Unless people can find you online or go to YouTube or on Spotify, they don't know anything about you. Whereas if you got a CD and you put a poster up that says, Rodrigo Haddad is coming to town, go to your local store and pick up, you can pick a physical copy of it. So that's back like it used to be when you started playing, when you had, hey, just like you got in tapes and all that stuff. But over here, it's all about who's got a playlist. You're on a playlist, and as you well know, I tell this to all the people that aren't in the industry, there is no money selling records anymore because it's all streaming and you don't make hardly any money. And so that's why so many people tour. And that's why when people go on tour, it costs so much money to buy tickets because they're not making any money selling records.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So you started doing this. And how many people were involved with you? Did you have like 3 or 4 people? I mean, as far as the band or people that kind of like the music, did you start playing it or having listening to parties or something where people can listen more to your music or what you liked? And then people start, oh, I like that. How did your fan base or how did people start liking your music down there?
One thing that really made a big change for country music in Brazil, Rick, was when CMT, the Country Music Television, you know that, it started to broadcast in Brazil. Back where you remember the 90s fever with Shania, with Garth and George and Alan. So when those artists started to show on our TV in our house in Brazil, was kind of a country music fever, like in places like São Paulo, that is more that people likes to hear different things than Brazilian music, than popular music. So everybody started to buy hats, buy boots, and wanted to listen to country music. The young guys, people like me, when we were like 19, 20s. So when I started the band back in that time, there are like few people playing that kind of music. So I got an advantage because my daddy was brought me that kind of music when I was really young. So when people started to listen, I was listening before. Yeah. So I was playing that before in small clubs and small parties, but then started to grow up. So
you were in the right place at the right time. You were right there before it all started.
You're right.
And
yeah.
As they say, you're ahead of the curve. Everybody else was catching up with you, and it's like, oh, Rodrigo's playing, and I could see that. And so on CMT, did they do Subtitles? I mean, obviously they didn't translate the music. Did they put subtitles of what they were saying? No, that's
No, no,
it was
no.
all in English.
People is only in English, and people started to love the melodies, and the visual of the music video was really impressive at that time.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, everybody's having fun, beautiful farms, parties, and those guys could sing a lot, and the music was very good. The music was very good. It's country with that popular appeal.
Yeah, it's not, it's not like the old timey whiny stuff. They don't do that anymore. I mean, one of the greats lives, unfortunately, he's had a stroke. Randy Travis lives about 20, 30 minutes from me on a ranch. And then, of course, he had his problem when he had a stroke. But the old days with George Jones and all that, people don't listen to that anymore. You still get the twangy going on, but you don't have that nasal stuff. And, of course, George Strait is from Texas. He lives in Texas. And, he's kind of the king of that part with the white dress shirts that are all nice and starched and jeans that have a pleat in them are starched. That's his style. Do you have a band? I mean, do you have a band that plays all the time? Or tell me a little bit about your music now that you do.
Yeah, Rick, I have a band that those guys have been with me for maybe almost 20 years. I have a full band with drums and guitar and bass, fiddle player. Even I can hire a steel guitar player here in Brazil in São Paulo. Yeah, he's very famous. But there's one thing how I takes care of my music. I've been playing for the last 20 years. I'm not making a living with my music because it's not a popular country music is not popular in Brazil. No, and I only play but I only play country music. Like from the first show in 1995, I played the same songs that I've been playing since today. So but there's a good thing because all of us has our kind of job that makes money. So when we get together to play the music, we play every weekend. We treat really serious like a job, but we don't make a living with that. So that's make easier for us to get together,
Are you confused about what's going on in the financial situation in America right now? What you need is an expert, someone that can help you reach your financial possibilities. And that's David Smith with Everett Jones at 469-372-1587. David has years of experience of helping people just like you because his number one concern is you. That's David Smith with Everett Jones, 469-372-1587. Reach out to him today.
We don't have the load. Yeah.
So what do you do for a living?
I work on the real estate business here in São Paulo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like my bass player work on the security business. My drums play has a pet shop. So everybody has his kind of business. But when we get together, we get serious to make like really good country music with friends. We treat all very well, and people when the audience can feel our energy when we get together. So this is really cool.
What's the name of your band? Yeah,
my band's called Pure Country Band. Pure Country.
And do you guys have you done studio work? I assume you've gone to the studio and recorded some things.
Yeah. I released six albums, 6 CDs, and now they are all online. Some of them I recorded here in São Paulo with my band and with some other Brazilian musicians, and other 3 albums I recorded in Nashville, in Tennessee.
Good place to go to record.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got the harmonies down. That that's the standard harmony that they do in kind of a country music. That it's not a third, I think it's a fifth up or whatever it is. That you got to learn how to do if you're going to sing it.
Hmm.
And so are you the main singer? You
Yeah,
do,
I'm the
yeah,
main singer.
okay. And then who does the harmonies on it? Several
My
guys or somebody, just one person?
my guitar player. Yeah, just one person we have singing
And
with
that's
me.
usually typical. It's only two people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fairly. I mean, I was watching a show last night. Country. It was America's Got Talent, and they had a country artist on
Okay.
there, and there was him and the guitar. Somebody else was singing the high. He was doing the melody,
Okay.
and the other person, which is fairly typical in country
Yeah,
music.
we do like that. Yeah.
So when you come up to Texas, will all of you come, or just you? Or how many's going to be able to come?
No, no, Rick. Just me and my wife are coming to Marshall, Texas.
So you're going to
Presto
use
told
the
me that.
band. You're going to use the band they
Yeah,
have. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna use the house
This
band.
band,
Yeah,
yeah.
I already sent the songs that I'm gonna play,
Hmm.
and it worked fine for me. You know, I was really surprised when Presto sent me an email about the invitation to go to Marshall. I never heard before about Texas Sound before, so um, I became really curious about the event and started to looking on the internet and started to talk with Preston. I said, man, first of all, I love Texas. You know, Texas is it's a really special has a really special place in my heart. So when I heard about that festival, and like you told before about all country music artists from all over the world, I said this is really special. So I told him I'm going to Marshall. I will do my best to go. I will try to bring my band, but like I told you, everybody has all the
Yeah, they have
kind
their
of
job. Yeah.
their jobs and families. So I'm gonna leave my two girls here with my mama, and my wife are coming with me. So I'm really excited. I'm just want to have fun with get to know people, get to know the theater is really beautiful. I saw some pictures on the web, so I'm
I'm trying to
really
remember if I've actually looked at the theater. I know how big it is, but I don't remember seeing it. But you know what's going to be great is you'll be able to meet all these people from all over the world who do
yeah,
the same
that's
thing
it.
you do. And the one thing that's common now, some of them maybe they'll not speak English that well, but they know how to sing country song in English because they've learned the words. And
Yeah,
so, and I think the camaraderie between all of you, it's they're different but the same. And you're all there doing the same thing. And I think you'll have a great time. Are you bringing a guitar? Are you trusting the airlines, or are you going to use one up there?
no, I'm not.
I don't
No,
blame you. I don't blame you.
I took a flight from Dallas to Vegas one time, and they broke my guitar on the
Oh,
plane.
yeah.
So, like Presto told me there are going to be all the instruments there,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
don't know. I think it's going to be easier. Nowadays it's really hard to travel on those flights, airplanes, because you just can't bring one luggage and one bag. So I don't want to. I just want to have fun, relax, and no stress.
What is your favorite guitar to play? What brand do you play? I noticed that you had one out there.
I have this is the Tacoma that broke and the plane, but I love the Gibsons. I have two Gibsons, so it's my favorite guitar.
Were you taught English in school, or did you have to learn it by how did you learn how to speak English? I guess is the quickest question I can ask you.
Okay, my parents put me on the English school,
Mm.
but here in São Paulo, here in Brazil, as average, we all kids learn English in school, but like two 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 2 hours or 3 hours in a week. But my parents put me in another English school after my regular school,
Oh,
just to
okay.
improve. But like if I want to sing in English, I needed to learn more. But I don't speak much English here in São Paulo.
No, I'm sure you won't.
Yeah, so I speak English when I'm singing my music. I would like to talk more to make my conversation start more nature and better. But I don't get the chance to speak here, Rick. It's a sad thing, and I think Texas is a really musical place overall. Yeah, the Texans really like music.
Yep.
This is really cool.
And we have a lot of famous musicians from all different types of music from Texas.
Like everywhere you go, you see some people playing music. This is, and in São Paulo, we lost some kind of that. That makes me kind of sad. It used to be much better back in the 90s and early 20s, but nowadays it's more DJ, more change our music scene change a lot.
I bet you it'll go back. I bet you it'll go back. I think probably some of that happened during COVID. How many tunes? I know you get 20 minutes. And how many tunes you're going to try to get into that 20 minutes when you're at Marshall?
I think I sent to press, I think 5 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
Not much than that. Yeah.
That's about all you got.
That's this is really cool. So what I'm gonna get there. What's the time? I just want to be there and have fun. I'm not thinking much. I just.
You're not, it's funny. Everybody I've talked to, they're not thinking about the award. They're just thinking about coming.
Yeah, you're right. That's
and
it.
And if they get an award on the side, it's like, it's even better. I just want to go and perform in front of people. And
you're right.
And I can appreciate that, because if you like music as much as you do and I do, that's a lot of it. It's just being able to do your craft in front of people. Now, the songs that you're going to do, are those all originals, or are you doing covers?
I'm doing covers and song and one song of mine. It's about Texas.
You have to do an original.
Yeah, Presso told us to do like more cover songs because people to get to know. But I included one of my songs that I wrote about Texas. So I think it's going to be really cool to sing a song about Texas for Texans in a Marshall, Texas. So I think
what's the name of the song?
It's Up in Texas. I started the song with this line. If you think it's a long way to go from Fort Worth to San Antonio, it's even longer than where I come from. A night with the stars for the place that I call home.
Oh, yeah. It's all relative, isn't it? You think for us, if you're going to San Antonio, that's a long way away. And you're like, I'm 5,000 miles away. What are you talking about?
and I can call home like you call home because I love this place. That's it.
I think it's really cool that you guys are taking the opportunity to do this on your own money. I mean, when Preston told me about it, and I know he's trying to expand it, and I think he will, but he also wants to keep that small hometown feel to it. Instead of going, he could take it to Nashville and probably get some people to support, but then it loses that kind of small town effect.
Small town, yeah. This is really cool, man.
And I think it's a story that I wish more people knew about. I wish I knew about it beforehand.
For us, Rick, it's really expensive to travel to US right now because the currency is like 5 of our money. It costs $1, so it's really expensive.
What's your money called?
Rio.
Oh, the Rios. Okay.
The Rio.
Yeah. Rio. Yeah.
So you buy like Coca-Cola here in Texas, like $5, something like that. A Coke.
Oh no, for us it's $1.50.
$2.50. $2.
Maybe let's say $2. If you go in a fast food restaurant, it's going to be $2.
$2. Okay. So for us, it's gonna be like $10.
Wow.
It's five times more. It was a pleasure to be with you, Rick.
Thanks a lot. Pleasure. I'm glad you took time out of your day. You have a great evening, and hope to see you have a very, very safe trip.
I really appreciate it. Was really fun time to have with you. Thank you.
You did a great job. We'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourself. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rick. See you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.